4 races to go, 3 more spots up for grabs. It's time, the final home stretch in the NASCAR regular season, to see who will contend for the championship. Next stop, the cornfields of the Midwest sits the fastest short track on the planet, and for the second time ever, plays host to the stars of NASCAR. Welcome to Iowa, as Coofandy Menswear presents MDK RaceDay. As we get ready for race 23 of the 2025 NASCAR Cup Series season, it's the Iowa Corn 350 from the Iowa Speedway. Green flag is scheduled for around 3:30 p.m. Eastern time on the USA Network, and the weather here is absolutely gorgeous. Temperature going to be in the high 70s, 1% chance of rain, so it's virtually going to be clear for all day long. A slight wind southeast through the racetrack at 7 miles an hour, but we can get wind gusts as high as 16 miles an hour. Welcome back, everyone, back to another episode of MDK RaceDay. My name is Jet. Hope you're having a wonderful day. And yeah, you can tell I am back in my old place, staying with my parents for the week, graduating on Tuesday, so that's why I'm back in Florida. Don't worry, again, it's only for a week. By the next race, which will be Richmond, I believe, we'll be back to normal. But for now, we're going to be doing this right here, right now, so let's not waste any time and jump right into it. Of course, like I said, this video is once again sponsored by the people at Coofandy Menswear. As you've been a long-time supporter of this channel, they have been all in, not only on my channel, but all in on NASCAR. We know that Coofandy is your one-stop shop for all things menswear, anything, whether it's going out, whether it's, you know, having a good time with your friends, or trying something more extravagant like a wedding or something like that. Coofandy Menswear is a place to go for affordable but still stylish looking clothing. And on top of that, they're going all in with NASCAR. We talked about this on the show previously, about them being a primary sponsor for Christopher Bell this fall at Martinsville, being the primary sponsor for the number 20 car. They've also been a huge supporter, like I said, of my channel, inviting me out to take a tour with Joe Gibbs Racing, which was awesome to see. But now they're going even more all in with their commitment to NASCAR, to commitment to this sport, by having exclusive Coofandy, Joe Gibbs Racing, Christopher Bell menswear collaboration. They have a whole lineup put out on the website, so make sure you go ahead to Coofandy.com to get some exclusive JGR merch. It actually looks really fire. So much so, they even gave me one as an example to show off. And I must say, it looks pretty good if I do say so myself. Again, Coofandy are magicians to make Christopher Bell somehow look fashionable. So if you want to get some exclusive JGR Coofandy merch, again, head over to Coofandy.com and use code JET25 at checkout to get 25% off your next order. Once again, huge thank you to Coofandy for sponsoring today's video. Now, like I said, we have 4 races to go in the regular season, and the point standings couldn't be closer. This is the tightest battle for the title in the regular season at this point in time since 2012. So it's been a long time since we've seen this close of a points battle. The top 4 are separated by just 20 points. Chase Elliott holds a 4-point gap over his teammate William Byron. The third HMS driver, Kyle Larson, is third at -15, with Denny Hamlin at -20. I mean, we could see this flipped after 2 stages. I mean, that's how close this regular season points battle is. Christopher Bell, he is 5th, jumps up a spot over Tyler Reddick. However, he is above or higher than that 61-point threshold, so only the top 4 can leave Iowa as a regular season points leader. But Bell in 5th, -62, Reddick -71, Blaney in 7th, -110, Chase Briscoe -127, and Bowman and Busch remain 9th and 10th, 146 and 167 respectively. Now, the playoff grid, that had a big shakeup with Bubba Wallace's win at the Brickyard 400. He's now positioned 9th in the playoff seed, but still 4 spots remaining, 3 spots up for grabs. Tyler Reddick +138 still has that 2 race gap. Alex Bowman +63 has a 1 race gap. The only driver that is not safe tonight is Chris Buescher, but he does have a pretty good size gap at +42 above his teammate Ryan Preece. Kyle Busch in 18th, -81, but he's going to have a huge hill to climb. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Ty Gibbs 19th, -95, and AJ Allmendinger rounding out the top 20 at -124. Busch, the official beer of NASCAR, proud sponsor of the Busch Light Pole Award, given to the fastest driver at each NASCAR Cup Series event. Busch Light congratulates Chase Briscoe for his 8th career Cup Series pole in his 167th start. It's his first pole at Iowa and goes back-to-back for the 2nd time this season, and it's his 6th career pole this season. Briscoe is the new Rocket Man, or should say the Hoosierville Bullet, something like that, I don't know. But regardless, he is the man to be on Saturday's winning pole with a speed of 136.933 miles per hour. Since 2020, Busch has invested more than $50 million in being a premier sponsor of the NASCAR Cup Series. So here's a look at the starting lineup for the 2025 Iowa Corn 350 from the Iowa Speedway. Alongside Chase Briscoe on the front row is William Byron. Had a very good car last year, finished in second place, but he starts in the second position. Row 2 has Kyle Larson, led 80 some odd laps, won stage 2 last year, but got caught up in a crash. Looking to rebound after last year's trouble, he starts alongside Austin Cindric in the 2 car. Row 3, Brad Keselowski alongside fellow Ford driver and the defending race winner from the inaugural Iowa race last year, Ryan Blaney in the 12 ride. Row 4 has Carson Hocevar alongside Chevrolet fellow driver Chase Elliott in the 9, with AJ Allmendinger and Justin Haley, great run for him, rounding out the top 10. Row 6 has Denny Hamlin, the number 11 car, sporting new colors. Alongside him is Josh Berry in the 21 car. Also had a very good car here last year, but that was with Stewart-Haas Racing. Row 7 has Michael McDowell and the 3-time and defending Cup Series champion Joe Logano in the 22 ride. Row 8 has last week's winner Bubba Wallace trying to continue on his momentum. Alongside him is Alex Bowman, one of the Bubble drivers in the 48, starts in the 16th position. Row 9 has Christopher Bell in the 20 car. Alongside him is Austin Dillon in the 3, with Cole Custer and Ty Gibbs rounding out the top 20. Row 11 has Ricky Shane Van Gisbergen, getting better and better slowly but surely on these ovals. Alongside him is Tyler Reddick in the McDonald's Toyota 45 car. Row 12 has Zane Smith. Alongside him is rookie Riley Herbst. Eric Jones and Daniel Suarez make up lucky row number 13. Row 14 has Chris Buescher and Ross Chastain sporting the Busch Light for Farmers Chevrolet. And right out the top 30 is John Nemechek and Ricky Stenhouse Jr., another driver who finished in the top 10 here last year. Row 16 has Noah Gragson alongside Ty Dillon. Ryan Preece and Todd Gillen make up row 17. Cody Ware and Joey Gase row 18. And rounding out the 37 car lineup is Kyle Busch in the 8 car. He did not post a qualifying time and will start in a backup car due to what happened yesterday with 9 minutes to go in practice. Kyle Busch gets loose in turns 1 and 2, overcorrects and slams the outside wall a ton. A little bit of fire came out of the car. He was okay, checked and released from the infield care center, but ultimately Kyle Busch has a huge hill to climb, especially when he is below the cut line. He will start in dead last. And now let's take a look at the odds to win here at Iowa. Kyle Larson with the best of odds sitting at plus 400, Ryan Blaney at 500, the defending race winner, with Byron at 600 and Bell at 750. Chase Briscoe and Chase Elliott 700 and 850 respectively. Hamlin at 900, and look at this, some big names. Brad Keselowski could be a sleeper here in this race at plus 1100, and then a big drop, Berry and Logano both sitting at plus 2000, Hocevar 2200, then Bowman at 2500, Preece at 2800. Huge names are long shots. Tyler Reddick at plus 3000. When was the last time you saw him with odds that big? Behind him is Ross Chastain and Kyle Busch, as well as Austin Cindric, all sitting at 3500. Gibbs and Buescher sitting at 4500, and Bubba Wallace sitting at plus 5,000. All right, now it's time for you to make the call. Again, we know how this goes. Every single week, I make a post on my YouTube discussion page asking you guys a question of what do you think is going to happen in this race? It could be anything that is on your mind, and what do you think is going to happen today here at Iowa? So let us not waste any time and jump into it. Our first one comes from Cito1101. He says, Chase Elliott gets the win. He looked very good here last year with a 3rd place finish, but I also have my eyes on last year's winner, Ryan Blaney, who dominated. Yeah, Chase Elliott, ever since the summer, Chase Elliott and that number 9 team, they have found something. I would argue back at Kansas, even though they didn't get the win, there was something that was there. They're getting better and better and better. Surely Chase Elliott in that number 9 car has gone a lot faster, showed up to the racetrack with much more raw speed. They've got to work on it on pit stops, and they have been doing just that. Chase Elliott could potentially have a shot at winning this race here today. Like you mentioned, Cito also finished in the top 5 and 3rd place here last year, so it wouldn't be surprising. But you also do mention Ryan Blaney in 6th place, who was starting in 6th place, I should say, being the defending race winner. Fours, they showed a lot of speed here last year, so you cannot deny that 12 car. Angry Wally 48.7, he says that Brad Keselowski will win at Iowa. He looks so good in practice and qualifying. He will be the first RFK driver, or car I should say, in the playoffs, and will flip the playoff grid. That is a driver that I think a lot of people should be looking at. Brad Keselowski starting in the 5th position. That 6th car on ovals has gotten a lot better when we got into the summer portion of the season. Ever since the Coca-Cola 600, that 6 car, they have found something. And based on what we saw last weekend with the Brickyard 400, nobody had really Bubba Wallace winning this race. Or at the very least, nobody was, I should say, confident in Bubba Wallace winning the race last Sunday. And that completely flipped the playoff grid. Certainly have a guy like Brad Keselowski, who has been improving in recent weeks. That car showed up with a lot more speed. Going to a track like Iowa, which, like I said, the Fords are the ones to beat. If you look at anyone to flip the playoff grid, it is certainly Brad Keselowski in that 6 ride. He could absolutely change everything if he goes out and wins here today. The Braden Bunch 58 says, I think Briscoe, Blaney, and Larson, BBL, sorry, will be the top dogs in this race, with Briscoe and Larson battling it out all race, and Larson coming on top to win the 2025 Iowa Corn 350. You know, with Briscoe, it's weird. It's like that guy, he's always on it on Saturday. I'm not saying Sunday he's nowhere to be found, but there's like a huge difference between Saturday Briscoe and Sunday Briscoe. I would almost equivalent it maybe similarly to like a George Russell, where on Saturdays, George Russell is always, you gotta look at him, but then on Sundays, it's like, yeah, he'll have moments, he'll have good spots, but I don't know. Briscoe, I just don't see that today. I didn't see the speed in practice that made me confident in what I think Briscoe could do on Sunday. Larson definitely, like I said, led 80 some odd laps, won stage 2. I believe was the car to be if he didn't essentially not wreck himself, but kind of put himself in a bad position to be in a wreck on a restart after stage 2 last year. So, I don't know. Blaney, obviously you gotta look out for him. Larson is a great chance to have a shot at winning, but Briscoe, I don't know about that. Finally, Carlos Holloway 6393 says, I think Ryan Preece will win and be the first RFK driver to be in the playoffs. Well, he's gonna have a big hill to climb starting way in the back of the pack, but again, who knows? Crazier things have happened. But the storylines for this race, obviously you gotta look at 2 pictures. You gotta look at the favorites and the potential spoilers, or the potential shockers. You look at Ryan Blaney, like I said, the defending race winner. Right behind him though, William Byron finished in 2nd place. Byron starting in 2nd. Byron was extremely fast in practice. Hendrick Motorsports have gotten a lot better in the recent weeks. They've shown a lot more speed. Byron specifically, because for a while, Byron was kind of just nowhere to be found, but now we're starting to see him crawl back. He's looking a bit more mortal now the fact that he has to battle against Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson. You got to look at those 3 HMS drivers. They will be strong. Elliott, Larson, and Byron, they will be strong. They will go after each other specifically for those 15 extra playoff points, who could pay huge dividend in their hunt for the NASCAR Championship in Phoenix and trying to fight their way through all the rounds. But Ford are the favorites. They are the favorites. I mean, I look at Blaney, I look at Keselowski, I look at Cindric, I look at Barry. There are just a lot of potentials where we could see a Ford driver end up in victory lane. The ones I expect to see struggle is Toyota. Only one Toyota in the top 10, and that is Chase Briscoe. And I just don't see Briscoe having the speed in order to get the job done. I think it's going to be a Chevrolet Ford battle. I think we're going to see Hendrick and Penske go after each other, different from the Hendrick and Gibbs kind of storyline we've been following all year long. I think Penske and Ford specifically, they are going to step up. They're going to be forces to be reckoned with this race. I'm very interested in seeing how the track changes between year 1 and year 2 with the new repave, how dramatic that is going to be in terms of the tire wear, tire management. How is that going to play a factor in this race? Should be very entertaining. This race is wide open for a Keselowski or even a Carson Hocevar starting right behind Keselowski in row 4, maybe even row 5. I mean, Allmendinger, that 16 driver, that 16 car has been putting up some real good speed in recent weeks. If he could just get some things to work out, I'm just throwing out of the possibilities. I don't think they're going to have a shot at winning, but again, if everything falls along the right way, the door's open for a potential playoff spoiler. But as we take a look at my Fantasy Live lineup, I do have Denny Hamlin, just because it is Denny Hamlin and you always got to pay attention to him. But of course, I do got the 300 drivers of Byron, Larson, and Elliott. But I also got Brad Keselowski once again in my lineup, and I do have Bubba Wallace. And the reason why I do have him is because he was fast in practice. He was not too shabby in practice, 2nd fastest overall. I don't know. I'm just, or in terms of average speed, I should say. I don't know. I just have this weird feeling that 23, maybe there is something there. He could. I'm not saying that he's going to win, but in terms of a surprise driver for points, potential points. I don't know. I will look at that 23 ride. He is in the playoffs now, so they could do some wild things. Maybe get me some stage points. Who knows? I don't know. But that is my lineup. I got 2 Toyota drivers, 3 Chevrolet drivers, and 1 Ford driver. I can't use Ryan Blaney since I've used him so much. I got to keep it for a little bit. I can't use him. I got like I think 1 or 2 chances with him left. So yeah, I got to keep him safe for now. But though that is my lineup. But the driver I do have winning, I do think it's going to be Chevrolet and Ford, the 2 that are going to battle. But I do think a Chevrolet will prevail, and it will be William Byron. Finished second last year, will finish first this year. Was 4th fastest in practice, but he was fastest in the 5, 10, and 15 lap average, qualifying in second. That tells me that 24 car is good in the short and in the long run, which will be key at Iowa since I don't expect to see many cautions. I think we're going to see a very long green flag run like what we saw last year, and I do think that William Byron will get the job done and will win at Iowa for his second win of 2025. But what are your thoughts on this race? What do you think is going to happen? Let me know in the comment section down below. As always, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more content. Until next time, my name is Jet from MDK. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see y'all next time.